Arsenal Sam 7 UF. Dang, it's long. Woo! There, balls, son. This particular video is about the Military Arms Channel's 1911 torture test, the gauntlet. So, with that being said, I'm all in your mind, I'm all in. So, on this particular video, we're going to discuss, let's see, yeah, right there, good shot, either that one or that one, I can't remember. And we have, that was the Israeli quick drawing, right there. And that, right there, you know where that's at, people. That was the one I just done, a three shot, and then that was part of the 3-shot. Because the Israeli quick draw, when I shot at this dude, hit him right here. And then when I racked through, I had hit, yeah, right there, and right there, on his right nut, and then his left shoulder right there. It's not bad, not bad. Especially I haven't been out in like 4 days or something to shot. But this particular video is about the Military Arms Channel's 1911 torture test, the gauntlet. Okay, so let me set this camera somewhere right quick. I want to get a good view of my sexy body and face. Hold on, I'm gonna have to readjust this shit. Alright people, so I just wanted to get it set on a stand, somewhere different location here for your viewing pleasure. So, anyway, now, 1911's here. We're gonna have a little talk. We're not gonna do no disassemblies or nothing like that. But this ain't even a Colt or a Springfield. This is actually a para ordnance. I'm not saying it's better than any of the other two I just mentioned. But as with any 1911, and this thing's been shot roughly 4,000 times. It has got battle wear marks, scratches all over it. This is my beater, 1911. Okay? So, with that being said, any 1911, okay? The reason why you were having to keep, okay, now you got to go first if you haven't watched Tim's 1911 gauntlet test. You'll need to go back and watch that before you come back and watch this. So, if you would so please, go watch Tim's the gauntlet 1911 test. The gauntlet, that's what it's called. It's what he's calling his torture test, so to speak, a reliability test. Now, he keeps having to, it wouldn't quite go into battery a lot of the times, okay? Like it would get hung up about right there, okay, on a round, because of sand in it, whatever have you. He had to keep pushing it forward to knock it into battery before he could shoot. And I'm gonna tell you why he had to keep pushing it forward. I'm gonna tell you what I do to my 1911s to prevent issues like that. For one, shoot the piss out of it and get nice and loosened up. Get all the parts worked together and polished and everything really good. Okay, that's the first thing you do. Break that bastard in. Okay? Second thing I want you to do, this is to keep things like that on his channel from happening. So like I say, first break the damn gun in. Okay? Second, make sure your feed ramp, and I don't know if it'll pick it up, let me see. The feed ramp is not going to get picked up, but there's a feed ramp in there. Make sure it's, polished. Alright? Make sure the feed ramp's nice and polished, smooth. There's no jagged edges or anything weird going on. Match it up to like a match grade barrel and try to mimic that. That's what I do. I even grind on shit with Dremel tools. You're like, well, you voided the warranty? Of course I did. Like I don't already know that. Fucking dumbasses. So you polish the damn feed ramp. Wear the hell out of it. Make sure it's nice and loose. Everything. Make sure it will rattle. Hear that? Make sure it will rattle. Make sure it's... Hear that? It's hard to hear it. probably on that thing, but make sure it rattles, okay? You want this thing to be nice and loose, okay? Looseness is the key. And then also, your extractor claw, which is what grips the cartridge. We'll see if we can't get that to pick up. I wish. It's sort of going to pick it up. Right in there, you'll see an extractor claw on your 1911. And it's just a piece of spring steel. It's bent like this. So when you press it inside the slot here, okay, it does this, and it creates spring tension, which grips the cartridge to pull it out, okay? What will happen if that extractor claw is too tight, okay? When it goes in the battery, especially with dirt and this and that, it can't go back over because it's too damn tight. It can't slip over the rim of the bullet casing, okay? Especially when there's dirt and stuff. By the way, this thing's been shot 300 times with no oil put in it too. It's dry as a fucking bone right now, and dirty as shit, okay? All right, so if you got those three things done, so make sure the extractor claw, once again, just to give you an idea here, it's not too tight and it's not too loose. Like, take your slide off here one day, and from up under it, slide you a live round up in there, how it would grip it, and then take your slide and just do this. Give your gravity force here, and if it'll hold that bullet, it's fine. But make sure it's not too tight, or it'll have resistance when the slide goes forward to press that round in, to drag it up that feed ramp and put it in there. It'll have resistance. You don't want a lot of resistance. I also use a 9mm extractor claw because it's smaller, less meat on it, and it'll slide over the casing a whole lot easier. The rim of the casing. And what I mean by that is right here, the rim. That's the rim right there. See that? The very bottom part of it, okay? It'll slide over it easily if you don't have too much tension on that extractor claw, and also use a smaller extractor claw. Actually, like I say, I use 9mm fucking extractor claws on my 1911. So, but the 45 when it comes with it is just fine. Okay. Now, let's take these off. Shit's choking me. Now, there's a fourth thing you need to do. Fourth, here, we're on number 4. The recoil spring. That is how much tension it takes to pull this thing back. I have got a 17.5 pound recoil spring on here. Not a standard 16 pound. The one he was probably using probably had a 16 pound recoil spring. I'm using roughly 17.5 pound to 18 pound recoil spring. It's a tough motherfucker. And so what that will do is when it goes forward, after you shoot, you know, the slide comes back, ejects the round, and then when it goes back forward, it'll have more force to drag that round up into the chamber. See what I'm getting to? And as far as shooting here, you know, and then you're having to keep recocking it, because dirt and gunk gets built up back here where your hammer's cocked back, and that little slot where the firing pin mechanism's at, and this and that. Well, you can kind of prevent that a little bit, not fully, but you can prevent that a little bit by just putting a strong mainspring. In other words, hammer spring. But they call it on 1911s mainspring. Okay, got to know your terminologies here. I am a 1911 expert. This is what I do. I mean, I mess with AK-47s. I mess with Remington 870s before Freedom Group bought them outright, because I got older 870s. So, get you a tight mainspring. That way there's more force slamming forward into the firing pin, which will make up for some of the dirt and gunk that can get up in there had you drop it on the ground or whatever. So anyway, I was just going to give you a few tips. That's 5 tips right there, okay? Because that last one I told you, the mainspring, that was number 5. So let's go over them one more time, okay? Like I say, number 1, wear it in. At least 500 rounds. Shoot the piss out of it, okay? During that time, we'll give you plenty enough time to do this. Tweak out your extractor claw, okay? So that's second. Make sure your recoil spring is tight. Okay. Am I missing one here? Oh yeah, polish the feed ramp. It's 4. I ain't doing it in quite the order that I told you at first, but you get the fucking point. And make sure your mainspring is nice and tight. Yeah, that's 4, whatever. So I'm losing track. That's 5. I don't know, whatever. This whole video is not about math. Neither do I fucking like math in school. And kiss my fucking ass. So the bottom line is, do those things that I just told you, and it will prevent the problems that you've seen on the gauntlet test through Tim's military arms channel. And I wish he would have let me do all those things for him before he sent it through the test. because I guarantee you could drag this bastard out right here. And plus, this is a Series 80. I took all that bullshit out. Okay, this is basically a Series 70 because I modified the motherfucker. Just to let you know that. So that's less movable parts. You know, he was talking about that trigger drag, having a hard time. You know, he had to pull the trigger really hard. That's because of those extra parts in there, which we'll get into that on a different video. So this is a Series 70 because I made it one. Remember that. So, thanks for watching, and I will definitely see you on the next video. And you probably wonder what the fuck that was. Well, that's this backing gauge. That's where you're sitting here like this. This is a little tip here, no extra charge. You know, there you are, whatever. And, you know, like I say, whip it out. Come back around. Standard quick draw. Alright, anyway. Those are the tips that makes your 1911 10 times more reliable than what it is when it comes from the factory. And these things do actually require a break-in period, whether you know it or not. And the break-in period is, moolah, I said, 500 rounds. So if you get a 1911, plan on shooting the son of a bitch. You can't let it sit around and be a safe queen, or it'll be the most unreliable gun you have. Mine are the most reliable guns I own because I mess with them all the time and tweak them out and stay on top of them. Actually, matter of fact, 500 to 1,000 more rounds put through here, I'm going to have to tighten up my extractor claw just a little bit. And you can do that simply. Don't buy a new one, John. Hickok, because I seen your prior video. Well, we bought a new one. We was having some. All you got to do, man, if you want to tighten it up, go out on your deck where your two deck boards meet. Put that bastard in there midway and just bend it. Just give it slight bends. Stick it in, test it out, see how it works, take it back out, keep bending it. Eventually you'll get it to where you need to get it. That's how I tweak mine out on my back deck. So, no tools required for that. Thanks for watching, and I will definitely see your ass on the next video. Remember to get that dry practice, because that's what that is. Every time I do that shit on camera, that's dry practice. Because believe me, it will help out. That is one thing James Yeager's got right. Probably the only thing he's got right. And I'll definitely see you on the next one.